Hello, Rex Elementary kindergartners, specifically uh, Miss Phelps and Miss Mitchell's class, because I'm not sure the other kids have this packet. This is social studies. We are coming to the end of our Women's History Month celebration. We should celebrate women all throughout the year, but especially in March. I have the three last sheroes in the packet. Here we go. This one, you might not be able to see her name, Angela Davis. She's a very famous civil rights activist. She came into power or infamy or became famous in the late 60s, early 70s. She was a part of a group called the Black Panthers. Not Black Panthers, Black Panthers. And she was part of that Black is Beautiful time where African Americans would wear their natural hair. They would wear afros. They were about building, nation building. They were about community. She's been a professor ever since then. I met her once and she's really wonderful. And she is a shero. Okay, the next one here, this is somebody from my generation when I was a young adult. This one is Missy Misdemenor Elliott. Many Melissas are called Missy, and she doesn't like being called Melissa. So she's Missy Misdemenor, that's her nickname, Elliott. She is a famous record producer. She has done things for all kinds of people. She started out with Aaliyah, the late Aaliyah. They were really good friends. She's had some health challenges in the past few years, so she hasn't been as active, but the last year or so she has. She's really brilliant. She writes great songs. She produces them. She sings, she dances. If your parents let you, ask them if you can see some of her videos on YouTube. Okay. And the last one, this is Eleanor Roosevelt. She was one of our first ladies. She was our longest running first lady because her husband was the longest running president. He was elected to president 3 times. Then he died in office. After that, they said no more. That's too long. Presidents can only be president 2 terms. That would be 4 plus 4, which is 8. Anyway, her husband, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he had polio, which was a disease that made your legs not work. So he was paralyzed. People didn't know that, but she would go to different places where a president would go, but he couldn't. She was his legs, is what he said. And she was very active in women's rights and in civil rights. In fact, the Tuskegee Airmen from World War II, because she was the first lady during World War II, they weren't allowed. They were black men in Alabama who were trained to fly planes and fight in the war, but they weren't allowed to because they were black. She went down to Tuskegee. She took a ride in one of their planes and showed everybody, yes, they're qualified. Yes, send them out. We need them. So because of her, Tuskegee Airmen were able to fight in the war, and they did a good job. So those are the last ones. I hope you're well. This has been Miss Mitchell. Have a great, this is probably the last time, have a great spring break. Bye-bye.